I saw someone had posted something about doing a reel every day for 30 days. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a reel every day for 30 days. And I'm going to see, let's just see how burnt out I get.
Yeah.
And let's just see. It kind of gave me anxiety. And I was like, well, I can do this. And then I had posted a couple workouts and I saw those workouts go viral. Like I'm talking 500,000 to almost 1 million views on these workouts. And I was
Wow.
like, okay. And it was put, and the people coming in were, like I said, the right demographic, the right age group. I was like, okay, there's something to this. So I kept with my 30-day reels, just keeping it within my realm of expertise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's another thing, and it has to create value for someone.
Hi, Meaghen. Welcome to the show. I am so excited to chat with you today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I will have to say, I'm kind of having a bit of a fangirl moment because I am like, I love what you do. I love the content you create. I love what you do for women. There's just so much. This podcast, everything, like you help so many people. And, there's always eyes on us. And sometimes we don't know who those eyes are. But I have to say, huge fan, love what you do. And I'm super excited to be here.
Oh, thanks, girl. Ditto. Like we've been hanging around the same people in the same industry for so many years now. And I feel like this is the first time we've connected face to face. It is the first time we've connected, which
It
is so
is.
strange.
I
Uh,
know.
yeah, and I feel the same about you. I've been watching you build your business from afar, and I would love for you to just share with us who you are, what you do, and let's really dig into how you've created this amazing business for yourself and how you're helping other women now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, my name is Meaghen Terzis. I'm a mom of two. I live in London, Ontario. And I have to say, like, living a healthy lifestyle and fitness and health has been a huge, part of my life for a long time. I mean, I played sports when I was a kid, went to high school and played on the basketball team, the soccer team. Like I've always been active. And I remember even in high school, asking my parents, like, I want to get a gym membership. So I started at the gym, at like, 14, 15, maybe 16, around that age, and really got into kind of the concept of building muscle and moving my body. And then I was actually approached by one of the trainers at the gym and was like, why don't you try a fitness show? So it kind of opened up that door into the
Mm.
world of competing. And I've competed in many shows. I did one prior to having children in 2006, 2007
Mm-hmm.
was like my first fitness show. And, I don't know if have you ever done fitness shows before?
I have never competed.
What?
Yeah, I've gotten girls up on stage, but I've never competed.
Yeah, so it's kind of like once you kind of do it once, you kind of catch this little bug.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I've
oh, I
seen
can
that.
do better, or I can,
Mhm.
yeah, like, oh yeah. So, anyways, I competed and I was like, yeah, it was fun and it was a great experience. And I got to meet so many like-minded women. And that's for me when I was like, yeah, I'll do another one. But I actually didn't do it until after I had my first child. So that was almost 14 years ago. And I kind of went through like the whole circuit of nationals and provincials and nationals, and the biggest show I ever went to was the Arnold's in Columbus, Ohio, and
Mhm.
did really well. And it was never my goal to become a pro or anything, but I was always kind of like, well, let's just see how far this goes. I was having a lot of fun with it. It helped me to really get my body back after having kids, and it was something that just kind of motivated me. And then it became a goal of mine to start fitness modeling. And so kind of entered into the world of fitness modeling and working with really well-known photographers, well-known magazines. I had done a handful of covers with Women's Health and Fitness
Yeah.
and,
You were in
life.
Oxygen too. Were
I
you
did
an
oxygen
Yeah, because I
and
remember seeing
strong.
you. Yes. Yeah. And strong. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've done a whole bunch of fitness modeling, and I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it, and got to work with gyms like Good Life, and got to work with brands like Reebok. So I really had this really cool kind of portfolio of all this work that I did. And the cool thing was that I never had an agent or anything like that. I went after it. I saw
Yeah.
something that an opportunity, and connected with the right people. And just went after it. And so
Yeah.
it was a really cool experience and an opportunity in my life. And it's really helped, especially competing, and then, working, behind the or in front of the camera.
Mhm.
It really helped me to be the woman I am today. Like, it's really taught me a lot about myself, and yeah, lots of life lessons came out of that time. And then in 2014, I suffered from a ruptured appendix. And I don't know if you know
Wow.
this.
Yeah.
I actually was very sick. I almost lost my life. I was
Wow.
hospitalized for a month. I was on high doses of IV antibiotics, and I was misdiagnosed. It was a horrible time. And my kids at the time were like 2 and 5. And
Oh my gosh.
just my whole life just went like, whoa. And it was that moment where you're just kind of looking and going, what can I do better? Like, even though I worked out and I ate well, and, I was really conscious of my lifestyle and what I was doing, it just made me more aware. It made me, a girlfriend of mine, she actually brought me some essential oils to the hospital. And that's when was introduced to essential oils, which actually got me into using them, and really kind of flicking that switch of like, well, let's look more at the products that I use in our home, and what
Mhm.
I put,
Mhm.
what on my kids and on my skin, and what I
Mhm.
clean with. And it just became something that I made a priority in my life.
Yeah.
And which kind of took me to this, season in my life where I helped other women who really, a lot of these things, like, we just don't know, right? Like, I didn't realize that these chemicals were dangerous and could cause all these horrible things in our bodies. And I became aware, and it kind of became
Mm.
this mission to help other women become aware. And so that was kind of the season in my life that I was in. And I have a beautiful essential oil team, and I work with incredible women, and I've helped over 10,000 families get started with essential oils. So
Wow.
it was, and that was always my mission. I want to help 10,000 homes incorporate, and we're still growing, and all those things. But when the pandemic hit, I had to pivot a little bit in my business.
Mhm.
What I really saw was people were suffering with their health, and
Mhm.
moving their bodies, and they weren't eating the right foods, and gyms were closed. And it kind of like brought me back to that moment where fitness was such a huge part of my life. And what I realized within this kind of like 14-year period of being in the fitness industry is like, I know a lot, and I have a lot to offer. And I think that um we get caught up in the different seasons that we're in our life. But I think I just kind of was this moment where I realized, like, I have a lot of tools that I can help people. And a lot of women would message me and ask me, are you trained? Do you train? Do you do one-on-one? Like, can people come to your gym? And it just got my wheels kind of turning of going, well, how can I help? How can I be of service to people that are needing it in this time? And the Own Your Health program uh, developed out of that, and I gave birth to that
That's
during
awesome.
the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah.
um, and created a 6-week fitness program, and that kind of got me back into. Now I am a certified personal trainer. Before I got into kind of the essential oil world,
Yeah.
I did get my training certificate, and I was doing a little bit here and there, but nothing too crazy. And so it kind of brought me back to that. And yeah, so I started the Own Your Health program, and I run a 5-day cleanse. I've started to run a bunch of programs with people, and it's been so rewarding and so fulfilling. And to see these clients have results, and to hear that they feel good in their body, and to hear that they feel the best they've ever felt. It's so rewarding. And yeah, so it's kind of brought me where
I
I
love
am
it.
today. I still have my oil business, but I'm really, I'm still really focused on my Own Your Health programs, and I launched my
Mhm.
YouTube channel. And, so people want kind of a taste of the kind of training I do. They can kind of get little snippets through the YouTube channel. And so, yeah, it's just, I always like to keep busy. So
Yeah, you seem so busy, but I just love your journey of, because when I was introduced to you, like I remember seeing you on a Good Life poster. Like it was, and that was everywhere, right? Was that everywhere? Because I remember seeing you often.
yes, it was and like I've been to Good Life recently, and like there's still those
There's
posters
still
up, and
there is.
like years ago. And I'm like, there's like ones where you're like punching the weight and like sitting and talking to a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still go out as advertisements. They still are hung up in the gym. So it's quite funny.
And it's things like that. Like you've used those almost like stepping stones to help grow and self promote yourself in a way so you can help other people. And a lot of like even my clients, their big dream is to be like in a published, magazine, or you know um doing some type of modeling job for a company. But I always often tell them, it's like, that's great to accomplish that, but it's what you do with it afterwards. It's how you're going to leverage it. And you are the perfect person for that, because you've had all these opportunities within the fitness space. You've competed, you've gotten into Oxygen, Strong, on billboards everywhere. And now you are using that as almost like a leverage to build this incredible business to help other women.
Mhm.
And I've watched your Instagram page, because as soon as Reels came out, you have stepped up your game there. Like you are putting a reel out every day, and you've really grown your page like in a short period of time. So I want to tap into that. Like, how do you do that? What, like, what was sort of like that thing that made you say like, okay, I'm going to dedicate myself to Reels? Because pretty much every post you post is a reel now. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. I've experienced some pretty exponential growth
Yeah.
through the reels and through Instagram. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to see. And what's really cool is I've been tracking, who's coming in and who's following me.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
Mm-hmm.
funny how Instagram has this algorithm, and it just knows who to push your content out to.
Mm-hmm.
It's women between the ages of 25 and 55. They're women from all over the world. They're not the the creepy men or the because that
Yeah.
was my fear. As soon as I started growing, I was like, oh, like I want to
Yeah.
make sure they're the right people.
Yeah.
And they are. And it's really cool to see the engagement go up, to see my views on my stories go up. And just to see the growth. And it's been a really, really amazing thing to see. And so I've I've been on Instagram for years. And it's really, I mean, as we know, in social media is a great way to build our businesses, and to help to promote ourselves and to build our brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
for me, I always like something a little curated. I like the look of the aesthetic.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine help me kind of make it look good, and with my posts and things like that. But then I was realizing, like, I'm not getting as many likes, I'm not getting as many comments. I feel like no one's seeing things. The algorithm, I don't understand this. And then when Reels came out, I was like, there's got to be something to this. And so I started playing a long time ago with Reels. And I love all things fashion, food, travel. Like I love all the things. And so I was playing around with fashion reels, which is I'm not in the fashion industry. I'd play around with food reels. And I'm like, yeah, this doesn't, like, I don't have that clean, crisp white kitchen that
Yeah.
like all these like Instagrammers have. And I'm like, this just doesn't look right. And so I played around with things that my daughter loves being in videos with me. So we did some stupid dances and things like that. And then one day it kind of clicked for me. I was like, I saw someone had posted something about doing a reel every day for 30 days. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a reel every day for 30 days. And I'm going to see, let's just see how burnt out I get.
Yeah.
And let's just see. It kind of gave me anxiety. And I was like, well, I can do this. And then I had posted a couple workouts, and I saw those workouts go viral. Like, I'm talking 500,000 to almost 1 million views on these workouts. And I was like, okay. And it was and the people coming in were, like I said, the right demographic, the right age group. I was like, okay, there's something to this. So I kept with my 30-day reels, just keeping it within my realm of expertise. Because I think that's another thing. And it has to create value for someone. Sometimes those stupid, like the silly reels, really don't bring in a lot of views.
They're more entertainment, right?
They're more entertainment.
Yeah.
And sometimes for people, that is what gets pushed out for them. For me, I can do a reel on essential oils. I can do a reel, like a silly reel. And it doesn't get pushed out. The second I do something that's like a workout or some sort of challenge or something, it's like Instagram just knows. They're like, people like this from her. So push, and they push it. And so, and I can always tell when one starts to go viral, and they don't happen right away. It usually happens about a week after it's posted. So a lot of people think this didn't do well, didn't get a lot of likes, and they delete it. Don't ever delete your reels, because they can go viral weeks after they are posted.
So it picks up after.
Most of my viral reels pick up about a week after. And like, they just, well, I usually know, because I'm like, all of a sudden I will grow 100 to 200 new followers in a day. And I can check, and I know that something's gone viral, and I can see it. So usually for me, it's the workouts. It's the ones where, ab workouts. Well, any type of workouts are always the big one, and fitness motivation. Like when, you hear someone talking in the background about like not giving up and keep moving, and, you're here to, fight through this, and things like that. Those always do really well for me too. So I started playing with them, and I think a lot of people think, I must spend hours on Instagram. I don't. I usually batch film a lot of the reels. I actually have a timer. You probably can't, I know you can't see it because it's a podcast, but it's literally a 15-minute timer. I set my timer because one of the biggest sucks in life is social media. We can sit there and scroll and scroll and scroll, or we can be, and especially now with reels, it sucks you in even more. And you're just like, oh my gosh, an hour's gone by and I've got no work accomplished, and I've just lost an hour of my life on Instagram. Mindlessly scrolling. And so I literally set a timer for 15 minutes, and I go through reels, and I find reels that I want to recreate, or I find music that I want to film, or that I want to film.
And you save the music then.
And I always look for reels that are trending. So you in the bottom left hand corner, you'll see like a little white arrow. That little white arrow means that reel is trending. And so I will always save a trending reel, or a trending audio, because I just know that's what's being pushed right now. And that's where Instagram is pushing this content, is because it's the trending audio. So I take about 15 minutes, and I find usually about 2 to 5 reels within that 15 minutes that I know that I can recreate. Whether it's a talking one or a work, I'm like, this song's great. It's going to be great for a 10-minute ab workout. This will be great because it'll be a good hit workout. And so once I find that content, I kind of go, okay, well, how am I going to post this week? So I usually content create on a Monday, to be honest. And I will usually film on a Monday morning, at least 2 to 3 reels. So that I have the content. You can save it to your drafts. I always actually make like a cover photo for it, because I like that's just me being picky with
the curated.
The curated. So I want to make sure it still, looks and it flows and it has a feel to it when people come to my page. And then I and then I just post, and I really just try to be consistent. And I started doing a reel a day back in November, and I haven't stopped.
That's awesome. And you've
I haven't. I've
you've
gone
doubled
past
your followers.
I've gone past my 30 days, but I'm just I keep seeing the growth, and the growth
Yeah.
is still happening.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep going because I know now how to deal with it, where it's like some people might go, "Oh my gosh, it took me an hour to find this one reel, and then I had to like go and wash my hair, and I had to." I've learned it's not about perfection. It's
Yeah.
just showing up and having fun with it, and showing a side of you that shows a bit of your personality. And that's what a lot of people have said to me is like, "Oh my gosh, I love your reels because you just have so much fun with them, and they're entertaining, and they're fun
Hmm.
to watch."
And they're getting value too, right? Because you
And
post a lot of
they're giving.
like, yeah, workouts.
Yeah. So where I see the most ones that go viral, or that most people like or save or whatever it is, are usually the ones that create the most value.
Hmm.
I have done a few, like what I eat in a day, just to give people. I did what I eat in a day on vacation. I think that was just a
Hmm.
nice, like, okay, well, she is a human.
Yeah.
She eats junk food, and she does eat, like humans to eat.
Yeah.
So it's just fun to let people see that side of you, and also to let people know how disciplined you are too.
Hmm.
This lifestyle, it, it is what you make it to be, right? And a lot of, well, I mean, you've been coaching clients for years. It's about consistency and creating those habits in your life. And if you're not going to be consistent, those habits aren't going to form. Therefore, you're never going to see changes or results. So it's
Absolutely.
about being consistent.
So I have some questions just because I'm learning a lot from you here. And I use a app called Later for some of my Instagram posts, just so I'm not on Instagram all the time. Is there a way to use an app like that to post reels? I haven't figured it out yet, or do you just plan them ahead of time, save them in draft, and then you're just the one posting
I post them all the time. I will
right
find
off
ones I want to,
Instagram then?
yeah, right off Instagram. And Instagram actually likes it better that way. If
Okay.
if things are created, like if you're filming things on TikTok, for example, and you've got that TikTok watermark,
Hmm.
and you post it on Instagram, TikTok will not, or Instagram will not promote it
Oh, wow.
because it has
That's
that
good to
watermark.
know. Yeah.
So
So they want it directly curated on Instagram,
mhm,
posted directly from Instagram. That's the best.
yeah,
Okay, for
like put it
views.
together and try to use words, and have some text in there. I
Okay.
think it kind of like, again, I am no expert whatsoever. I just know what works for me, and
Okay.
what has been working. I'd like to just keep everything in Instagram. Like I sometimes will film just right directly on my camera. I filmed
Yep.
an ab
Yeah.
one today, and I will film it directly onto my camera because it's a little bit more clear, crisp image. And then I will upload it into and edit it right into Instagram.
Okay.
And then that video is there. You put your cover photo. You have the option to do all those things, put your tags and all that stuff. So
And you try to record 2 to 3 reels on a Monday, and then you would probably do another 2 to 3 reels on another day, and then that would
yeah,
be set for the week.
yeah. Or sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered filming 3 today. I'm just gonna find one. I'll do this one this day. I'll do this one this day, or I'll film 2 this day. So it kind of come like middle of the week. I kind of like maybe I filmed 3 on a Monday, and then on a Tuesday I still set my timer for 15 minutes, and I still like to have like a large number of reels that I want to recreate. And I'll just go, okay, well, I'll do that on Tuesday or on Wednesday, and I'll do that one on Thursday. That won't take me very long because now I have an idea of how long they take me. Um,
Yeah.
Originally, when I first started, I'm like, oh, this takes a long time.
Yeah.
This is taking me way too
I
long.
think my first reel took me like 3 hours.
Yep, that sounds about right. Yeah, no, it does. It can be time consuming, but now
Mhm.
I've got it down to like kind of this fine art of like I can bust one out in like 20 minutes if I need to.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So it's just, I think just because I've been so consistent with
Yeah.
it, and I try not to be perfect. And I think we can
Mhm.
like re-record it. Oh, I don't like the way I look there. Ooh. And trust
Yeah.
me, I will film them like at least 3, 4, or 5 times until I find the one that I like. but I really don't try to like do 20, 30, 40 takes because it's just, you got to kind of go, well, time is valuable, and
Yep. Yep.
where else do I need to be spending my time right now? Reels have been valuable to me because they've created growth, and they've created more views, more of an audience on me,
Mhm.
which therefore has converted into more coaching clients,
Yep.
and more people wanting and curious about essential oil. So it's
Yep.
been
Yep.
it's been very beneficial,
Mhm.
and just making sure to, when people comment, to comment right back, I think is
That's a
always
good
engaging
one. Yeah.
with your new people that are following you, or if you can have conversations, it's
Right
fun.
away, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And it's funny because then when you see these people that are commenting on your things, and you kind of start looking into them, and then you realize they've got this really cool page as well, and you start following them, and like all of a sudden you've created these, social media friendships, and you're inspired by people that maybe you never would have found if they didn't find you.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's brought some new people into my life for sure. Who I've had some conversations around coaching, and just growing Instagram and things like that. So it's been fun.
And really it's all about consistency, guys, like consistency over perfection, because you are showing up every single day and it's sort of like you're ticking away at it, and it's worked. Like, you've doubled your audience and since November, right? Is that right? Like, it's gone up pretty much double.
Oh, more than double.
More than double, more than double. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
like
you're consistent.
I had a very beautiful, solid, close to 8,000 followers, which were very engaged, and they still are. And
Yep.
but they've been with me, I feel like, for, you kind of get to like this kind of plateau a little bit, and the
Mm.
people that are really watching and really valuing your content. And then it grew to like, I'm at like almost 45,000 now.
Yeah, that's
So
incredible.
yeah,
And you started a YouTube channel too recently, right? And is this because of the Reels growth, and you love doing the videos? What,
well,
tell us
it's
about that.
funny. I actually looked into YouTube um, over a year ago. And I was like, I need to be on YouTube. There is something to this. I've seen girls in the industry. Heather Robertson, I'm sure you know
Yes. Yeah,
her. She's like
she's grown
killing
amazing.
it on YouTube.
Mhm.
And so I would say in like December of 2019, 2020, I can't remember, maybe it was last year. It was last year. So December of 2020, I think it was. Um, I was really amazed by the growth that she had on, and this was before any growth this is before I was even really playing with Reels. I mean, I was playing with them, but not like fully. And I just saw that YouTube was such a cool platform. And I started following someone who uh, taught a YouTube for Bosses course, basically.
Mm.
And I started to listen to some of her videos on how you can really tap into the YouTube world, as a business owner, any kind of business. And when I had reached out to Heather, she had actually given me the name of Sunny. And so then I had reached out and I purchased this program. What I didn't realize was that this program involved a lot of work on my end in terms of creating the content on my website. I needed to make sure that I had programs that were evergreen that people
Mhm.
can purchase. I now have my recipe ebook. I have my 5-day cleanse. I have my
Yeah.
6-week program. So I have all of the products that I use from doTERRA, from supplements to this and that. So I have all these purchasable products on my website because YouTube basically acts as a funnel. It will
Yeah.
funnel people to your
You need to
website.
have your links there so people
Yes,
can actually buy
yes,
from you when they watch your video.
exactly. Or they can work
Mm.
with you. It's how
Mhm.
to create the clients,
Yes.
right? And how to
Mhm.
get people to want to see the value in you.
Yeah.
And so I was super inspired by Heather, and I was like, I really would love to do something like this. And so when I bought the program, it took me like a year until I actually physically launched my YouTube channel. And
Oh
it's
my
only
God.
been like a couple weeks. Um, but it's really fun to see the subscribers go up. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, okay, this is growing too. And just kind of, blasting it out on all my social media platforms. But YouTube is different. It doesn't work on an algorithm. It's a search engine. It's like a Google search, right? So when
Yes.
people are
Yeah.
looking
It
for,
stays there.
it
It stays.
stays
Yeah.
there and it
Hmm.
accumulates
Yes.
views. So
Yeah.
like I have my first YouTube video I posted, I'm already at like 1,000 views, and it just because like that number keeps going up, because once people find my channel, they start viewing some of my content, which is really cool. And there's just so much really cool things that you can do on YouTube. So I'm just kind of exploring. I'm
That's awesome. And are
brand
you, I think I read that you're doing like you've committed to a date and time, or like a time every week. And I think that also helps with the growth of your YouTube. So if you're showing up, let's say on Tuesdays and Thursdays, show up on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or if it's just one day, like do that day so people know that it's your show and they know when to tune into it at a specific time.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, right on my YouTube cover photo, it says Meaghen Terzis Wellness, and it says right there, new video uploaded every Wednesday. So
Wow.
people
Mm.
know that every Wednesday there is a new workout there that's for them. And I'm just trying to really gauge with the audience right now. What are people looking for? Are they looking for hits? Are they looking for, arms, abs? And I'm not doing like crazy long workouts. They're just little snippets so that they can tack
Mhm.
it on to the end, or if someone just wants to do a 20-minute workout, it's there. It's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. Like I have to film it. I have to
Do
edit
you
it.
film it yourself and
I
edit
do
yourself?
everything with
Really?
it.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, as soon as
I
your
make the
viewers start to go
thumbnail. Like
up, you can
it's
outsource.
it's insane. Well, eventually that's where I will. I looked into having someone edit. And at the time I was just like, you know what? This is such a new project for me. For me to pay someone, you know, copious amounts of money to edit these videos when
Mhm.
I'm really not generating an income from it yet.
Yes.
Hopefully there
Yeah.
will be.
Yeah.
And so it just made sense. And that's why I keep my videos shorter, because the editing process does take a while.
Yeah.
So I just try to batch film. I do batch filming of those workouts. So yeah, by the end of the week, my body's like done.
Your body's sore.
My body's like, what did you do?
Epsom salt baths.
Yes, yes, lots of Epsom salt baths, some saunas. Yes.
Well, that's amazing that you're doing it yourself. And I've heard from a lot of YouTube people that a lot of people love just that self creation. They don't like the big production so much. It's like they want to see what your life is like. And it's, sort of like that non-curated. I know that you like to put some sort of like finishing touches, but at the same time, like, what you want to record, and you're probably going to edit it and record yourself the best, edit it the best. And then that way you can actually teach somebody that later. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a necessary step, but it's a lot of work. I'm assuming.
And I think like for me too, like some people when they do workouts, they like to talk through the workout. I am not
Mhm.
a talker. I'm like,
No.
throw on some music and let's power through this workout. So I actually don't literally say it in a word the entire time. It's just like
Amazing.
there's music there, there's a bit of an intro. It's me like, hey guys, and then boom, we get into the workout. And then literally at the very end, I'm like, hey, if you like this workout, like and subscribe. So that's literally all anyone ever hears from me. So
That's awesome.
it's really
That's a
kind of
good way to do it. It's hard to talk. You'd have to mic yourself up. You'd be huffing and puffing. Like that's, yeah.
yeah. And there are some girls that have like really done very, very well on YouTube that literally mic themselves up and talk through an entire workout. And I'm like, I don't know how they do that. I would
Yeah.
be like, like huffing and puffing. And yeah, that just, I don't know. Yeah, there's some, it's good to be real and raw, but that's just a bit too much for me.
I hear you. I hear you. So we have a lot of listeners that are aspiring coaches, or they're aspiring to do something on their own, become a content creator. What would be your one piece of advice to somebody who may be in a 9-to-5 job right now that has this amazing idea or aspiration to do something on their own? What would that piece of advice be for them to finally make that first step?
That's such a good question. I think you just have to do it. You just have to do it. You have to not be scared. You have to just go, I am so worthy of this. I am worthy and I can do anything I want to put my I will do anything and everything I can put my mind to. So let's go. And I think it's also, looking at your brand and what
Mm,
is it that you want people to see? What is
that's
it
a good
that
one.
what is it that you want people to see, and kind of really getting clear on that. When I created my Own Your Health program, um, one of my good friends who helps me with some of the back end things on, some emails and
Mhm.
graphics and things like that. She's amazing. She really was the one that kind of said, Meg's like, so much, you need to put this together. I'm like, yes, I do. And she came over and literally, like, the wall beside me here is this big closet, and we put sticky notes all over this closet, and my program came to life on the closet
Sticky
with
notes. Yeah.
sticky notes.
My husband and I do that all the time. The sticky
Yeah,
notes on the wall. Yeah.
sticky notes. And honestly, I never thought how powerful sticky notes on the wall could be. And so if you are trying to create something, if you are trying to create a brand, or you're wanting to create a program, or you're wanting to you know really dive into growing your following, whatever it may be, just have a really clear vision of how that's going to look and how it's going to feel. And if you need to put sticky notes on your wall to kind of map it out, do it. If you're someone who wants to do the 30-day reel challenge, and you really need to visually see what that's going to look like, map it out. Buy a
Mhm.
whiteboard and kind of like, all right, my first reel is going to be what I ate today. My second reel is going to be a workout. My third reel is going to be, and kind of figure that out and create that plan. You are in charge of your life. And I think that we deal with the imposter syndrome, right?
Yes.
Big imposter
Yep.
syndrome. Like,
We were talking
who
about
am
this
I?
before we pressed record. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Who
Yeah.
am I? And trust me, guys, I have been there. I have questioned myself. Who am I to give this advice? Who am I to say this? Who am I? But you know what? It's like, I do know a lot.
Hmm.
And and even if you don't, you're going to say what you know. You're not going to say what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
You're going to show up in a way that feels right for you. You're not going to misguide someone or mislead someone. You're sharing what you know, and what works for you, and what has seen worked for other people. And that right there is powerful. We know,
Absolutely.
as a coach, we know a lot more than the average person who knows nothing about fitness and health.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
being able to help guide them in making the right decisions, moving their body daily, drinking their water, like, that's one thing with my program. I got the biggest feedback because I would do like constant reminders, like, guys, drink your water, drink your water. And so many people were like, oh my gosh, my one of my biggest takeaways is how much water I wasn't
Not
drinking
drinking
enough.
before. Yeah.
And so it's, it's you show up and as the best version of yourself, and stop playing the imposter syndrome. Like, it just let it go.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
It's
that.
like a muscle that you have to build. Once you start showing up and delivering value, and you see that one person you've made a difference with, that one person that, you've helped, it's like building that confidence muscle up, right? And it's almost like taking yourself out of the equation and just looking at it as, who am I going to be able to help? It's not about you, it's about them.
Yeah. And tap into that feeling of how good it feels when you do help someone.
Hmm.
Right. And I think that's what really helped to build my confidence in showing up in this health and wellness space, is that I have the testimonials and I have the people who have gone through my programs or that have worked with me that are like, oh my gosh, like, thank you. I'm forever grateful for what you've taught me. It's teaching them. And sometimes these things are so basic to us.
Yes.
And they're just things that we automatically do, that we
Yeah.
don't think that people aren't doing them.
You don't think it's valuable,
No,
but
because
the
it's
basics are valuable. Yeah.
absolutely. And we tend to kind of get in our own head, like,
Hmm.
who am I? Who am I? And I think
Yeah.
that, as you find yourself in how you want to grow your business and how you want to portray yourselves to others, like, find that brand and just don't be scared.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. And there's going to be, you're always going to learn from your failures too. Like you're always, if you fail, or something doesn't go the way you wanted it to, it's like, all right, well, that didn't work. Well, how are we going to change it? What am I
Yeah.
going to do differently? What,
Yeah.
and I think that we just need to keep that in mind, that failure is not a bad thing. Failure is actually what helps us to get where we need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Roadblocks, bring them,
Yeah.
like it just means I have to learn how to hurdle them. I need to learn
Yeah.
how to climb over it. And so I always kind of look at these things instead of trying to, we can all sit there and go, oh, that didn't work.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not meant for this. I guess I'm not good at this. I'm just going to go back to my 9 to 5 and, pretend like that never happened. Where it's like, no, let's pivot. Let's try a new way and we'll see where that goes,
Yeah.
and there's always going to be failure, and that's just part of life. And we just need to embrace it and know that that's part of the growth.
It's all part of the journey. It's all
Mhm.
part of the journey. Well, this has been a fantastic chat. I've learned so much from you. I'm so glad we finally connected face to face. I hope this is not the last. I'm sure it won't be. We'll do some other things together. I'm so excited
I would
just
love
to
that.
watch. Yeah, just continue watching you grow. And I'm excited to tune into your YouTube channel as well. One of the questions I ask every single guest, I'm sure you know this, but what does the word strong mean to you?
Oh, strong to me is just like, I think confidence. I think showing up and just being your absolute best, and even when you feel like maybe you're not the best, you show up. Consistency. There's that word again, showing up, being the best version of yourself. And when I think of strong, I think of that. I think of someone showing up, being consistent, and, really not letting the failures get them down. Just
Mm,
keep on moving.
I love
So
that.
that's always kind of how I live my life, and kind of my motto is just be consistent, show up, and just there's
Figure it out.
you
You'll
got
figure it out.
figure
Yeah.
it out,
Yeah.
and that's life.
I love that, Meaghen. Where can everyone find you? I will include your links in the podcast notes as well, but let everybody know where they can connect with you.
Yeah, you can find me just by my name. So Meaghen Terzis on Instagram. If you're over on YouTube, it's just Meaghen Terzis Wellness. Again, I just have really branded myself just with my name. So Meaghen Terzis is where you can find me. And then also my website is Meaghen Terzis Wellness. Yeah, Facebook same, Meaghen Terzis. So just look at my name, you'll find me.
It's easy. It's easy that way.
Yeah, it's easy.
Thank you so much, Meaghen, and we'll chat with you soon.
Thanks so much for having me.